When I think of getting the opportunity to be on the stage, for us it could be dancing, a solo maybe, something. I know that I would never get on stage and not give it the 100%. And probably no one in this room, especially when you get older because you need to rehearse more and stuff, you'll do it. Because you gotta get out there and you gotta look the best that you can. When you get out there, everything is gonna look perfect in your life. If you had a problem that day with your son, nobody in the audience will know that because you're giving a performance. You're lost in the performance. The performance is your relief. So, do you all agree with that? Okay. So, what if I thought to myself, every time I pull out the key to open the door to the studio, or every time I walk into the studio to teach a class, it's my stage. It's my performance. In the old days, but I still use it, they called it show business. It's show business, kid. So what does that mean? I can use that key to turn off all the troubles of my life, if I choose to. And I can walk in there every day and give an Academy Award performance each and every time. If I choose to do that, does it mean I'm a fake person or, I'm not real or whatever? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means that I'm a professional. So why do I say this? I say this because I believe we create the atmosphere of our school or our classroom. And if we take with us into that classroom our daily lives, then our kids are feeling it. Our teaching is feeling it. Our expertise and knowledge is feeling it. And I think it has an effect on the atmosphere of the school and the atmosphere of the classroom. And know this, if you're the owner, you set that tone. Your faculty and staff will be the kind of personality that you are. Actually, you will attract to your school people who fit into your personality. They're attracted to it. But want to know what the most people are attracted to? Happiness, fun, no fears, children doing something that is a right of every American child to learn how to dance and put on a pair of ballet shoes or a pair of tap shoes. And that's what we have to give them, and that's who we have to be all day, every day. So I say, use the studio as your release. Use this opportunity to inspire kids and be able to do this, I say. Get lost in the music. Get lost in the feeling inside, because dance does that to you. Get lost in this freedom and give that to the kids. If you're an owner and you're worrying about how you're going to financially make it, I don't think our clientele should know that. If you're an owner and you lost the recital location in March and your show's in May, you can't flip out and tell the whole world that you just lost your recital location, because you know what? You're going to have to, right from that moment that you told the world, people will be calling you and saying, well, you refund my ticket money. What about my kid's costume? What about this? What about that? Because you decided that you weren't going to keep this to yourself. But here's a scenario that could play out if you kept it to yourself. Because I'm not telling everybody, I can jump on this right away. I'm not wasting any time here. And I start calling around to other auditoriums and seeing if they're available. And it ends up that I pull off this auditorium that was really much nicer than the one that I had. And it's not that much more money to use this auditorium, but this place was comfortable for me, so I've been there the last 10 years. But in March, I was forced to make change. Now I get on Facebook instead of saying, in New England we call everything wicked. I'm wicked excited. I pulled off something that I have been dreaming about for the last 5 years. We are going to blah, blah, blah auditorium, more seats, more dressing rooms. Ha, 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 ha. Did you get that? I don't think we should tell everybody in our studio what's going on in our lives. I don't think we should tell everybody in our studio that we don't like the school up the street. I don't think that when a mom walks into our studio and they say, I just came from Betty Sue's School of Dance and I had a horrific time, I don't think we should say, tell me about it. I think we should say, I'm really sorry to hear that. Our doors are open, but we don't really say anything negative about other schools or teachers. Their mouths will drop open. But you know what? You don't have time. Because you're making choices that instead of talking to that woman for 45 minutes, you're going to get this, and this done. And I'll add to that. 45 minutes talking to that woman and then 2 hours calling everybody that you can't wait to tell what you just heard about the school up the street. God or the man upstairs, the woman upstairs, whatever you believe in, he only gave us so much time. I feel like I'm always tired because I'm racing, because I want to get everything done in the amount of time that I have. People want to talk to me, my employees sometimes, and I go, I can't talk right now. I got to get this thought down on the piece of paper, or finish this and I'll be back in an hour. Because wouldn't it be great if we spent all our time on moving ourselves forward, the dreams that we want to pursue, and our own happiness? And not on the negative stuff. I'm starting to believe this. If you turn on television, especially news, it's always catastrophic, and there's 17 things happening in a day that are catastrophic. But know this, the reason that they're feeding that to us is because we want it. If we wanted all the things that people in America and all over the world were doing really good and healthy things, and the teenage kids that aren't shooting people but are helping the elderly, if we wanted to know that stuff, that's what they would be feeding us. That's what would be selling commercials for them. And we can't allow ourselves to get conditioned that way. We must realize that each and every day we wake up, there's something cool that could happen in that day in our lives 5 cool things could happen. With that said, another thing that's really, really, really important, and I think anybody in this room who's 50 or above, because it took me till my mid-40s to know this, you have to accept change. You can't expect that all the people in family that you loved all your life are going to be there till you're 80. And you have to start looking and saying, yes, I lost this person or I lost that person, but at least I had 10 years with them. At least I had 33 years with them. A lot of people can't accept change. The one lesson that I have learned, and learned it the really hard way, is to accept the change. And the older you get, the more change there is. But we don't need to mourn what we had and wish that we had it. We need to be thankful that we had it and look for what the new stuff is. What's going to happen now? Who's going to come into our lives? What's the circumstances that we're living in now? Because we can't go back. Yesterday was day 1 of the DanceLife Teacher Conference. We will not live that day again. We'll remember it, but we won't live that day again. Please, please accept that part. And if the alternative is that we are not aware of the change because we're gone, and know this, I don't say that all day, every day, this guy sitting in this chair talking to you is a happy man. Not true. Not true. Always working to be happy. Never moving backwards. Trying every single solitary day to make it a point to appreciate. To make it a point, and I don't do it all the time, to think before I open my mouth. So if I want to say something that could be offensive, I'm going to think of 3 really good things that I can say before it. Or how can I say that offensive thing in a really good way that it doesn't sound offensive? It's an awareness. It's a choice. Maybe 20 years ago now, I went to this place. It's called the Option Institute. It's in Sheffield, Massachusetts. It's run by this guy named Barry Neil Kaufman. And he wrote a book, and it was called Happiness is a Choice. And right after my mother died, that would, in August, she'll be gone 21 years, I was a mess. And I'm looking at this thing, happiness is a choice, and we're all adults, I'm like, bullshit. Then I started to read the book. Then I went and listened to this guy talk. 1 week. And I knew everything was a choice. Didn't mean a week later I wasn't back to being who I was, but that was 20 years ago. I'm working on it still. And know that we can make mistakes. Mourn those mistakes. But now I'm like, okay, what did I learn out of this mistake? What did I learn? How am I going to use what I learned to make this other thing I do better, or where I'm going to go next? Right there in front of me, I can see where I want to go. I'm 25. I can see where I want to go. I'm totally willing to work my butt off to get there. And I'm halfway there. and this curve happens in the road. I can have a mental breakdown because I was looking at that, and now I'm going someplace that is like wandering in the dark. But because you set that goal and you learned and grew and got to this place, there was another place to take it. So I'm going with this curve in the road, and I'm going to see where that takes me. I'm not going to flip out or feel like a failure. When I was early 30s, I was asked to write a column in Dance magazine. And I did not feel like I was a good enough writer to write a column for Dance magazine. And when I was talking to the guy that had asked me, he goes, "Don't worry about it. You'll have editors. You'll have all of these people that will make you sound good." I still have editors that make me sound good. And I wrote it. And it came back ripped to shreds. I only went halfway through it because I was so upset with myself. Then the next day I looked at it and I said, "What are they telling me here?" And they were telling me that I had a thought in this paragraph that matched with this paragraph, so this thought should go to this paragraph. So then I rewrote it with the suggestion, sent it back up, edited again, sent back to me again, and I started to figure out how to write. Every time someone sent it back with an edit, I wouldn't get mad about the edit. I'd go, "Why did I get this?" And now I can write pretty good. Not a place I expected to go, but look at that now. I publish a magazine. I was a dancer. And people still ask me today, what do you do? And because of what I do is so hard to explain, I say, "I'm a dancer." And they look sometimes, "Really?" But that's what I am. What do I do with it? A lot of things. Well, I'm willing to put on a pair of tap shoes and do that again, too. And I can. So, in this life, we go with the flow. We go with the flow. I know it sounds cliche, but some of these things I've said today that may sound cliche, just start telling yourself them every once in a while. And it might not be so cliche. I believe that there's greatness in all of us, and there's a choice to choose happiness and that we can have it. In every single person in this room and in this world. It's, do we choose to use it? Choice. Choice. And know that all of the things that made you who you are, the good things, the bad things, the catastrophic things, that's who made you what you are. You could say, "I wish I didn't have this, I wish I didn't have that," but you're good at what you do because of all of those things that you understand because you've lived it. You can't have not lived it and appreciate somebody else going through what you understand 100%. I was going to talk about something totally different this morning. I wish that I could do all my seminars like this. People call me and they say, "What's your topic?" I go, "Oh, do you really need one?" I chose this today, and it came to my mind as I was sitting in this chair, because I want everybody to be confident in who they are and what they are. And I know in America and all the other countries that may be represented here, we have the right to be who we are. The right not to be ashamed or think if they only knew. They might like you better if they only knew. You can't love other people until you at least halfway love yourself. Notice I didn't say the whole way, because there's things about myself that piss me off sometimes. It's called being real, I think. The retreat center last summer, this girl was in the middle of the room. I think she was the daughter of a dance teacher. And she's crying, and she's crying. I walked up to her, I said, "What's wrong, honey?" She says, "This is so real. I can't believe how real this is." It was one of the best compliments I ever got in my life. What's my time? 5? Care about yourself first. Give yourself what you need so that you can be excellent at what you do. Do not be afraid to make a living at this dance thing. And if somebody calls it a hobby, they are wrong, and you know that they are wrong. So don't let that bother you. Don't make it so that you have to prove you have value to everyone, because you know you do. You know that 3-year-old kid that is now graduating from high school and in this really good college because you taught her the life lessons that she needed to get there. You know that. It ain't a hobby. It's a lifestyle. It's a life choice. It's a living the dance thing 24 hours a day for most people. Be confident in this career choice. Be confident in the fact that you thought you might open a dance studio 10 years ago, and you now have one with a couple hundred kids flowing through, and you put on a pretty damn good show every year, and you have happy kids all over the community. Be proud of that. Nobody can say anything to bring you down unless you choose to allow them to bring you down.